Not just Knicks. We are here today.
Yes, sir.
Pre-Denver. We're almost coming towards the end of the season. This is episode 5. Of course, I'm here with Big Ha and the third, a.k.a. I can't even call him no social media Trey anymore. Because he actually got a social. I was like, hold on, you on Twitter? I was like, that's you? He like, yeah.
He's making appearances. Yeah, he's finally making appearances. That's what's up.
Nah, that's not what's up because he ain't happy with this. What's good, Trey? Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
All right, can you hear her?
Yeah, I can hear.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, episode 5. How y'all feeling tonight about these games, fellas?
Well, first off, I want to say salute to college basketball first. The March Madness is here. You know what I mean? So prior to the NBA activities, it is March Madness. There's already been some upsets. So it's good to watch that and get excited leading up to the pregame for the Knicks Denver. But yeah, man, I'm excited. We got some opportunities, man. A couple of teams, Milwaukee lost, Cleveland lost. We gained half games on them. So it's looking good. Schedule's about to lighten up soon. You know what I mean? We've already had a successful road
Road
trip,
trip. Yeah.
3-0. You know what I mean? We definitely, we could go for the sweep tonight. It's going to be tough. You know what I'm saying? We are playing against the defending champs. They are, I'm pretty sure they feel like they owe us from us beating them earlier in the year. So that's a lot against us. You know what I mean? And usually at the end of the trip, usually that's when, things just go kind of like,
So, are you trying to say that they're going to go tonight? Ha, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, when you say things are going to go how you feeling about tonight? Do you feeling like we're going to go you feel like we could continue this momentum?
What kind of fandom is that?
It's sort of contingent on Tibbs or on the motivation. I think because of who he is, it would be very difficult for us to just go, we already got 3, let's, put this one in the bag and all of that. I'm just saying usually, typically at the end of a road trip, you know what I'm saying, team.
Sound like Ha faded out. I don't know where you at, but it seems like your reception's going in and out, Ha. How you feeling about that, Trey, until we get Ha back?
Look, we had 2 days off since the last game. We done won 3 in a row on the road. That's a positive, right? Of course, the question is the personnel, right? One, who do we start? If we start Deuce, that means we're going small. Um, Starting the Chua would be the smarter decision. But, I don't know. I mean, as far as depth and consistency coming off the bench with Bogdanovich and a Radic shooter, if we're gonna have enough to score with them. I got a question if we got enough. We've been playing great defense, but they're a big team, and that I think that's my only concern is the size differential. But other than that, we had 2 days rest. I mean, the air up there is another factor. We got to think about that. That Denver altitude is definitely a factor. But if we come out strong, then I think we could pull one out.
No, I definitely agree with that. Like you said, they do have size. Fortunately, like tonight is one of those nights where Sims may get, a few extra minutes just because he is a big body as well as a live one who has 6 fouls that we can throw at Joker or at whoever it is. He's good moving laterally. So when it comes to guys like Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter, we're not going to say they're going to guard those guys consistently, but at least he's just not a turnstile out there. But other than that, What else been going on? What else been going on in sports news right now?
I mean, let's talk about because being that, let's talk about the other games though, man. Let's talk about um, our last win against Golden State, right?
I
Um,
mean, that was a good game. Oh, that's what I wanted to actually ask about. Like, how you feeling about Deuce staying in the starting lineup? I mean, that's something that I think should happen. Yeah, we would be smaller, but it also gives Jalen Brunson a more traditional ball handler to play alongside when he plays off the ball, man. I'd like to see that continue against whoever we play against.
for me, that's circumstantial. It depends on who we playing against the matchup. Although Deuce, he handles the ball, he's still not really uh, a penetrating point guard yet. Sometimes, I mean, I'll factor in the fact that he played 46 minutes. When he tried to dribble and he fell down and all that. I would say part of that was fatigue, but ultimately, I think that's circumstantial. I think, and which I credit Tibbs for now being more versatile and who he's willing to put in the lineup based on who we match up against. And I really think that's big because considering the fact that we thought he was very much a static coach. He's showing showing dynamics now when it comes to his lineup, and I really think because he has the personnel that truly fits his playing style.
Um, but to piggyback, I agree with a lot of things. Trey said, I'm a bit biased. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a big Deuce fan. Been advocating for him to play forever since he first got even drafted onto the team. Right. So I'm a huge Deuce fan. So I'm proud, man. I feel like even though I don't know him personally, but I feel like I'm a proud father right now seeing you know, it's a joy to watch the hustle the hard work he puts in. I mean, look how the boy shoots now. Like he's incredible. His jumper is just on point. You know what I'm saying? That's growth because that was erratic, obviously, when he first got into the league, right? But he's definitely worked on that. The hustle is there. We know the defense is there. You know what I'm saying? We could get a little bit more playmaking. Excellent. You know what I mean? But right now, for what he's bringing to the table, it's all joy, man. I'm just proud of him. I love how he's playing, and that's my guy. So it's a joy to watch. That's what I got to say about my brother Deuce, man.
Yeah, but what he's bringing to the table, at least right now, and I hear what you're saying, Trey, about ball handling penetration, but he's a consistent, not only mid-range jump shooter, off the dribble, off the catch and shoot, but as well as a three-point shooter. And in the backcourt, the same way that a big man down low can command a presence, so that way the double teams on Jalen Brunson or less is kind of similar. Because if they want to double team, and as long as Juice is kind of trailing him along that perimeter, you can't really leave him open. So I kind of look at it as everybody has their strengths. That part of his game may come, it may not come, but to know that the shooting aspect of it and the ability to be able to score without necessarily being a penetrating point guard is already something he has in year 3.
No,
Um,
I agree.
I'm excited about that.
I agree. I want to say this. I think when it comes to his erratic shooting, I don't think he was so much. Well, I think what caused that when he played with the actual Knicks and instead of the G League team is the speed of the game. Because when he played in the G League, he knocked down the shots, right? I think he had to adjust overall to the speed of the NBA game and become more consistent there. But because we know he was a scoring machine when he played in the G League, right?
I
Yeah,
kind of feel the same way about Daquan Jeffries. Similar, I mean, every time he comes in, you kind of look at that shot. He may come in with less than a minute left. He jacks up a three. Maybe he makes it, maybe he doesn't. But that's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, a former G League slam dunk finalist and somebody who's also been putting up buckets. So I feel you, Trey.
yeah. Excellent point. Excellent points, man. Just like I said, proud of him. Um, you know, we starting to get well, thought we was getting healthier. How do y'all feel about these injuries and can we continue to weather the storm? Like, what do you guys feel about that?
Well, we gonna. I really feel like, after the night, our schedule is it benefits us, it behooves us based on who the next about 3 or 4 games are against. And I think when I looked it up the other day, it says when it comes to difficulty of schedule, we rank 17th for the rest of the way through to the end of the season. So it's just us not getting any more injuries, and ultimately, I think we'll be all right, right?
I mean, if you look at our next few games real quick, hold that point. I'm gonna go back to you. After tonight, we got Nets, Pistons, Raptors, Spurs, and then we go to the Thunder, Heat, and Kings.
So we got 4 games after the night that are very winnable games, and then we have some contention, right? Um, and who you said it was at? Who were the next 3? You said the Kings? Who?
After those 4 games,
Yeah,
after those 4 games, it's gonna be the Thunder, then the Heat, then the Kings, Bulls, the Bucks, the Bulls, the Celtics,
Thunder,
the
Heat,
Nets, and the Bulls, and that's the end of the season right there.
so Thunder, Heat, and Kings, right? So then that's 3. By that time, we have Mitch back, right? By that time, we should have Mitch back coming off the bench, right? So that's somebody else that's gonna be playing. Um, I
Wait,
don't
wait,
know.
wait. How many more games left of the season?
It's like 13.
Let me count them right now: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, including tonight.
Yeah, I know it.
Wow.
Like 13 games left in the season. So,
That-
like,
wow.
like, if we don't get Mitch back after this game, within the next few games, we'll have Mitch back, right? So that's just added defense, right? If we get Anunoby back after those 4, right, which should be winnable, then we just in a great space after that, right? If we can pull out a winning night, go to 4, win 3 out that 4. You know what I mean? Probably throw away a garbage game or whatever. Then go into the next 3 teams that's going to be some contenders or contention for us. And we got Mitch and Ananobi back. Nah, we should be able to coast through the rest of the season.
So, how about this? Because this is the other scenario that I'm, extremely prepared for. Um, the potential of maybe not getting Ananobi or Julius back until well into the playoffs, if only we go through a deep playoff run. How y'all feeling about that very real possibility, knowing that we haven't heard too much about Julius Randle and we don't really know too much about what's going on with Ananobi's elbow flare up at this point?
All right, well, the Julius scenario is this. He's still not cleared for contact. So I could very much see him coming back for the playoffs. Ananobi, being that, he hasn't re-injured his elbow, is just discomfort. And then I forgot who I was watching the other day talk about having a similar type of injury and coming off the surgery. It's all about comfortability now. It's not so much about. It's about them being able to being able to deal with the discomfort or the pain or what have you, right? So with rest, he might have to play either less minutes or play every other game until we close out the season. But I think if we go tonight and then those next 4 winnable games, he should be able to come back after that. I see him coming back in 5 to 6 games.
Okay. I mean, what is? Do y'all know exactly the term of his injury? Is it the rotator? What exactly? What part of the shoulder? Like, what exactly is
It's
the
not a
injury?
shoulder. He injured his elbow.
It's
It's the
his
same
elbow.
elbow
It's the elbow.
he had the operation on.
Right. Okay.
Uh,
So
Now they said it flared up. Now let me tell you things that I saw. while watching those games. I saw him fall on it a couple times. Actually, from the first game he came back,
and was rubbing it.
he fell on it. He went to the bench because that was a TNT game. So TNT games I usually watch on NBA League Pass, and NBA League Pass doesn't have commercials. Doesn't it just doesn't have any talking, any announcing. It's just
Right.
a game. So you know how it is. Not a regular League Pass game, only for the Knicks games because like they block out the TNT games. So at the end of the day, how it was looking is he went to the bench, he was holding it, going all the way to the bench, literally
Right.
like it was dead, and then he wrapped it up, and it was wrapped up heavy, and he kept holding it. And that was the first time when I kind of posted that picture on Twitter from that angle, from the screen, because the camera stayed on him for like literally a minute. Since there is no, they don't care. They're not worried about getting all the TV shots. Since then, every time he's falling on it or he does anything, he kind of just favors it. And I don't know if that's pain, but with the style of play, it's not like he's just a jump shooter floating around the perimeter waiting to catch and shoot. Like he plays a very physical style. He's always reaching with that arm. He's falling, and you know what I'm saying. And I mean, he may need to sit out the rest of the season and just bank it on the fact of as long as he comes back in shape, because it's not a foot injury, the type of game that he plays, he doesn't really need 5 or 6 or 7 games to get back to who he is. He's coming in to play D, steal the passing lane, grab boards, keep it simple.
Yeah, I'm
And
trying. I, I wish I could remember who said it though, but it's ultimately like I said, being that he didn't when they did the MRI, it came back clean. Right, he might be having some mild inflammation, but with the injury, it's not going to stop for till the season's over. So he's gonna have to learn how to play with it one way or the next. You know what I'm saying? Him sitting out, he had surgery. So it's gonna continue until the rest of the season's over. The potential for flare ups. So if he comes back in 7 games, if he comes back, he's still gonna have that same problem because he's gonna use the arm. And it's like I tore my rotator cuff. Once you have that injury, it's months until you fully don't feel anything anymore. So for him to use it at all, he's still gonna feel something. Period. He's
Correct.
still gonna feel something.
Correct. Absolutely. So that's it's all about, like you said, is him being tolerable. Can he deal with the pain management? Can he deal with it? They said his track record is he's not good with pain. He's not comfortable playing injured. That's his track record from Toronto. That's what the some people within the Toronto organization, as well as the fans, said that OG, the only thing with him is, as tough son of a gunner that he is on the court when he's playing, but when he gets injured, he kind of shies away, like, I don't know if I want to do this. So that's something, that it sounds like it's more psychological, like, mental than anything at this point. He just got to get in that comfort zone and just go for it. Because like you said, he already had the surgery and all. It's all about healing and rest and all. And I like the idea of playing every other game. You know what I'm saying? I like that idea as well. To preserve him and on and get, by the playoff time, he should be just ready to go, man, full force. Word.
I hear y'all, but we still got to wait and see, unfortunately, until they actually do come back, which is crazy. Now, one thing, and I'm not looking past tonight because I know tonight's going to be a tough game. So, we hopefully we pull it out. But win or lose tonight, I hope we don't go into Brooklyn and have a letdown coming off of the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Things that, unfortunately, and I love my Knicks, but I've seen my Knicks play up to and down to the competition on too many nights. And we've had too many games this season against teams that we should have put away by halftime, and they got confidence in going into the fourth, and then it became a struggle. So, that's something that I just kind of want to put out there, knowing that we're coming home to play Brooklyn. I think it's on Saturday.
Well,
Yeah.
again, I mean, I think that's just not having our full complement of players, right? And I mean, it's next man up. But at the end of the day, we can say that, especially since we made the trade for Bogdanovich and Burks, they haven't been consistent. So if you're not getting the consistent points off the bench, then that's what's going to happen. Because especially being that Bogdanovich is not a good defender, right? So that, I mean, that's want to happen, right? And they're not giving you consistent points to outscore the next team, and they're not playing great defense. So that's why we see that up and down now, right? Once again, if we were healthy, we wouldn't see that. We'd be murdering them teams. You know what I'm saying? But we're in a space right now where we're depending on other people to become acclimated to the style of play, right? Be consistent contributors on the offensive side, being that they're not great defenders, and they haven't done that. Now, hopefully, the Golden State game was a turnaround for Burks, right? Hopefully, that's the case. And he could become more consistent. And Bogdanovich figures out a way to play some better defense. But I think, like you said earlier, Sweets, about giving Sims some more minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's just that he tends to get into foul trouble early, right? But you know, we we just have to pull those games up. Even if, we allow them to come back or stay within the game, we still got to pull them out. The win is the win.
Okay. Fellas, let me ask y'all a question. Looking forward, before what you're saying, looking forward to the future, um, knowing how rotations and players, again, typically and usually, that's the words of tonight, typically and usually, because with Tibbs, it's a little different animal. Um, we are in different times, but typically, rotation shorten, right? So let's say everyone does come back. Who minutes gets affected by that? All right. I would like to hear from you guys what y'all think, because this is key. What y'all think the organization will do, and what will be your personal preference in terms of rotations and minutes and distribution and all, also shot attempts, things of that nature. Because is Prince gonna is his minutes gonna decrease? Sims, we know he's probably more than definitely gonna be out the rotation. Um, but how do y'all see it shaping up to be, and how many guys you think Tibbs will have in his rotation?
I think 8. Um, I would hope 9, but I think 8. Okay, if we're healthy, right? Then that means we're talking about Brunson, Randall, OG, DiVincenzo, and Hartenstein, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, if we're talking about 3 off the bench, that's Deuce, Mitch, and I mean you gonna toss it up between and Hart.
So that means Burks and Prince will be out the road. See, I was thinking that the smart move would be for Tibbs to go 10 deep. That, to me, that would be the smart, because everyone can contribute and you don't fall off as much. It's not like you're putting in guys that's just so third level tier or whatever. You're putting in real, the debate on who Hardestein or Mitch or whatever, but they play off each other, right? Boom, that's the substitution. Should Prince not play for Randall, or is that but
Yo,
both
that's optimal. I mean,
banana?
if I could call Mr. Rourke, yeah, that's Fantasy Island. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I don't really see Thibs doing that. Now, hopefully, he's had a change of mindset and he understands what he has. I mean, him starting Deuce the other night, right? And how he's mixed it up some. I
Right.
think he understands what he has as far as the depth of his team. But, I don't know if he's gonna go into the playoffs going that deep, right? Considering the way he likes to play people with heavy minutes anyway. But I will say this: we have to take into consideration Randall coming off an injury,
I was just about,
right?
yeah. And
You know what I'm
OG.
saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And OG, we have to take into consideration them coming off an injury and spelling their minutes, right? So I think that's also the biggest factor in that is when does Randall come back? More so than OG. When does Randall come back? Right? Because if he's coming back for the playoffs, then yeah, you're gonna have to play a Chua because you're not gonna give him 35, 40 minutes a game coming straight back off an injury, going
Right.
straight into the playoffs.
Right. Exactly. And the rust is going to be there. Not to mention, like you said, too many minutes because more than likely he's going to have surgery this summer. From all things I've heard based on the injury, it's going to get hit. It's going to get bumped. He's going to. So that's something, But that's for the summer to deal with. But in terms of the rust factor and all, you're right.
Now, for me, I think that um, he should go 10, kind of like what Howard was saying. And the reason why I feel that he might, in addition to understanding what he has right now, I believe that Tibbs might not, or, I can probably say that I'd have to go back and check those rosters specifically, but he might not have ever had his team as deep as he's had now. So he's always been conditioned to playing them 7 people, 8 people, and just that's his rotation. And having to deal with so many injuries and still being able to put guys out there that might not have cracked his rotation for 35, 40 minutes, have them contribute to the winning and the culture, I think that he understands and hopefully will understand that rotating players and giving them a little bit of rest and stuff will benefit you because the plan is to go deep into the playoffs. It's not like we're playing just to finish out the season strong and see what we can do. Like, we know we're going to the playoffs. The plan is to go deep into the playoffs. The plan is to win a championship. But Eastern Conference Finals should be the least we accept and plan for this year. And that's why I really believe that he will have to go 10. He's going to have to keep Precious in it. He's going to have to keep Bogey. He has respect. And that's one thing I've seen, at least, that he has the respect for Bogey, which is why Bogey's the first one off the bench. And given all his misses, he's leaving him in there because he's played against Bogey. He's coached out in the West against Bogey on them Utah teams. He's coached in Chicago against Bogey on them Brooklyn teams. And I think he understands and respects what that man can do. A player who's been a starter his whole career, now towards the second half of his career, being asked to just kind of come in, spot minutes at a team with the fan base that overanalyze and micro comments on every little mistake you do. So I see Bogey out there pressing, but I don't see him out of the playoff rotation. I don't see Burks out of it. Like, I don't see any of them out of it, especially knowing that we don't know what we're going to get with Randall or OG coming back from injuries and whether they can play 35, 40 minutes a game. We just won't know. But I don't know. So at the end of the day, Trey, you feel that you said what, 9?
I said that's what I would think. I think he's gonna do. What I would like him to do is the 10, right? But I, you know, Tibbs has surprised me so far this season, so I still like to be pleasantly surprised, right? But ultimately, I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because he's a stickler. You know what I mean? He's definitely a stickler. So, but I would like to see 10. I think we have the depth. I think the team is shown that we can plug and play, right? With almost anybody, right? Like I said, the last two dudes we traded for, they just got to get more consistent, right? But other than that, You know, we're contending with everybody, and if healthy, if healthy, I see Eastern Conference Finals. Right, I see that. Like the only team, because we'll be deep enough. Right, we got Mitch back, and Mitch is coming off the bench now. Second unit's got no. We'll be deep enough. You know what I'm saying, but the question is our health. Where we at with that? Right, that's the question. Where we are with having the pieces healthy enough to make that push. Randall, the question with him is if he comes back and he can't bang, then he becomes that jump shooter again, which we really don't need. You know what I'm saying? Um, if he can play in the paint like he was playing in the paint prior to getting hurt, then yeah, it's a problem, right? Because you just opening up the floor, right? But again, now it's going 10 deep, coming back with the dudes that wasn't playing, the Mitches, the Randalls, and they now you got to really figure out who's on the floor with who. Because we're not going to do a 5-and-5. We're just not going to start in five and a second five. So now you got to really figure out who can play with who, man. And that's going to be the thing, right? So he's gonna. That's why he might not go 10 deep because he might not have enough time to really practice and get those configurations.
All right, so then that means it's gonna be some tough decisions, man. And some people will be, what I call it the Jaheim, and that's the just in case. You know what I mean? So depth pieces, bogey. These dudes Burks may not be in a rotation, but they'll be, you know, on standby, basically, in a nutshell, uh, in case, foul trouble, injury, or what have you. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of it, so let's talk about the other teams. So we saying Eastern Conference Finals. So to avoid Boston in the second round to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, we can't be in that. I believe we can't be in the 4 or 5 spot, right? We got to be in the second or third to avoid playing the first seed in the second round. And we stay where we at. We're playing Boston in the second round. Y'all foresee? Well, I shouldn't ask fellow Knicks fans that. Of course, the answer is gonna be yes. But how because we all have our biases, right? So we're gonna say, yeah, we could beat whoever we play. Um, but obviously, the two biggest people that stand in our way is considered Boston and Milwaukee. I've learned my lesson. I've knew this, and so have most Knicks fans, such as y'all too, and majority of Knicks fans that's over the age of 30, 35, know that you never, ever, as much as we hate them, ever count out Miami Heat.
Miami, yep.
Never count them out. So I see that being dismissed a lot. It's all about Boston, Milwaukee Knicks, Boston, Milwaukee Knicks, Boston, Milwaukee Knicks. Rightfully so. But man, that Miami team, man, you know how it goes down. Them niggas don't give the fuck. They don't give a fuck if they're the 13th seed, the 12th, the 11th, the 10th, whatever.
Yeah, but I posted a tweet the other day, which was interesting because based on how it's been going and how the play-in might go, there's a great chance that Miami and Philly end up playing Boston and Milwaukee in the first round as the two playing teams, which means that two of those teams are going by the second round. And that would be a
Right.
very interesting scenario.
No doubt. No doubt. So right now, currently, what's the standings? Miami and Philly is 9 and 10.
I'll pull up the standings. Keep talking. I'll pull up the standings and let
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm just never I just can't, man. I can't. They've proved to me too many times never count them out. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler, that coach, that culture they have with defense, and rebounding and hitting the open threes is always dangerous come playoff time. They have a system that's just been running forever, for
Yeah,
decades.
but here's the factor. Here's the key factor in that. If we healthy, now we got somebody to lock down Jimmy Butler, right? Because now we got OG. He's not floating all across the floor like he likes to float across the floor, right? Getting into the paint You know what I mean? Setting up the play. It's not gonna be that. I don't get it twisted. I'll never sleep on them, right? Because really, in the East, that's the other most physical team outside of us,
Right.
right? You know what I mean, they're physical like the Knicks, right? So I'll never sleep on them. I just think that uh, our personnel now just makes it a little bit different than what it was last year. You know what I'm saying? I think it makes it a little bit different than what it was last year with OG there and making Jimmy uncomfortable doing what he likes to do.
Right. The one key guy though that I think a lot of people is forgetting, they made a major move, man. This dude is a dog. You hear me? He's a dog. You know what I'm saying? And they got him that Rozier cat from the Charlotte Hornets. He's an upgrade over now 40-year-old Kyle Lowry. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely an upgrade. He's a killer. So that just gives them more, you know, Lowry always killed us, but he still was a stagnant, cagey vet point guard, but he was stagnant. He was much slower. He couldn't move as well as he used to back in the day. Rozier is a killer. So I think that was a major move that nobody's talking about. That's something to keep an eye on as well. You know what I'm saying?
So right now, Heat are in seventh, the Sixers are in eighth, Bulls are in ninth, and the Hawks are in 10th. But based on the play-in, the winner of 7-8 goes to the playoffs, and the loser plays the winner of 9-10. So that could very easily have the Heat and the 76ers in the 7 and 8 spot, which means that, if the standings stay the way they were now, those two teams would end up playing the Celtics in the books in the first round. And that's interesting because after the Hawks at 11, you got the Nets, and they are
Oh yeah,
four.
they're like,
They're I
don't
mean
even.
they're 4.5 games behind. The Raptors are 7.5 games behind, and the Hornets are like 14.5 games out. So it looks
Yeah, they're
like
done.
Bulls and Hawks are going to occupy the 9-10. It looks like the 7-8-9-10 is going to be Heat, 76ers, Bulls, Hawks. And
So
out of
how?
those four, I think Heat and 76ers are going to prevail.
So let me ask you a question. The way Indiana is struggling, and the way Miami is known to go on runs, how far is Miami behind Indiana, and do you feel that they can catch
Honestly, they're a half a game behind Indiana. So
them?
yeah, they
Oh, so
they could catch them.
yeah,
And
if
and
they only
so
a half
and
game,
so and so are
yeah,
the
I think Miami is
Sixers.
definitely going to be 6 seed.
And so are the Sixers. So that's even interesting as well, because a Pacers Celtics first round matchup. How interesting would that be, considering that both of them are very high scoring teams?
Very interesting. Very interesting. The only thing that the thing, and y'all, everyone who knows me know how hard it is for me to admit this. To say anything positive about a Boston team in any sport, right? But them guys, man, the one thing that they do, man, as Trey was alluding to, well, he said Miami and all, but Boston it plays defense, man. Like literally plays defense. You know what I'm saying? And it's it's crazy. Like I just don't see the Pacers being able to withstand Boston when it comes to that. You know, but
Yeah, but at the same time, Boston likes to get caught up in the tit for tat 3 point game. With the amount of 3 pointers that the Pacers would shoot. You know,
yeah, but Sweets, look at the defensive rating of the NBA and look where Boston set. Regardless of what style Boston plays, they still play the best defense. They still up top. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. I don't Indiana doesn't play good enough defense to deal with, that Boston team, sorry to say, man, is a juggernaut, man. And I hate admitting that, but they're a juggernaut. You know what I mean? I don't think the Pacers, I think I would love to see the Heat play the Celtics. Let them battle it out and beat each other up. You know what I mean? More so than Indiana. But Yeah, that's what I see in the East, man. How do y'all feel about the West Coast teams?
It goes through.
Uh,
It goes through Denver.
Right.
Um, I mean, the Clippers look good early, but they slipping. Right? It could be anybody out there. Um, um, but you got them young teams that's looking real good.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
OKC.
saying? I mean, they were looking real good. But but what you got is going into the playoffs, you got the inexperience factor, right?
Right.
So I mean, first round for sure, right? But if they gotta meet Denver in the second round, or even the Clippers in the second round, right? You got a bunch of dudes on that team that's experienced and had a lot of playoff experience. So it's just they got the talent, right? They got
Hmm.
the drive. It's just will inexperience take its toll going deep into the playoffs?
Right. Right. Well said. Well said. I I have this funny feeling that OKC is actually can be one of those young teams that is not good, that they're not going to be in any shape or form feeling like, oh shit, feeling like they don't belong, or feeling like this is more than what I thought it would be. They just seem to have the type of personnel that they just play as a team. They play together, and you know what I'm saying? They just seem like
It,
they got that it factor. Watching them, I've watched a good amount of games this year with them, and they seem like they got it, man. There's something with
it,
them, you know.
but that's not what it is when you get into the playoffs. It's making the adjustments for playing people repetitiously. See,
Right,
that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, all right, boom, you go from game to game normally in the season. Play them, you play them. You play them, you play them. You up because whatever advantage you taking advantage of during the game. But
right,
when you 3 games in and now you got these seasoned vets that know how to make adjustments, right? Can you as a young team counter that? Because what
right,
you was doing, what you got off with in game one, is didn't work in game two. Now, do you know how to now make the adjustment in game three, game four? Well, okay, boom, I can't do what I did or it's not working. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah. Now what we do, now that's of course partially that's on the coach, but the players on the court, you know what I mean? You gotta be able to now say, all right, boom, the rhythm of the game is going like this. And when you're in a 7 game series, that's a different dynamic. And if you've never done it before, I mean, it's definitely a factor.
No doubt, no doubt. That's a
now,
great.
I will say this. I didn't mean to cut you off, Ha. Since y'all guys talking about the West and the playoffs, the Lakers and the Warriors better stop messing around and playing this 500 ball because the Rockets have
Oh,
been
they
on
cook.
fire.
Woo, woo! I'm
And they
happy you
might
brought
sneak
that up.
in. They might sneak in and grab one of those two
Um,
last play-in spots.
yes, totally agree. I'm happy you brought that up. I was just about to say who's been one of the bright light shining stars of this year. That Jalen Green kid, oh my fucking God, boy, is phenomenal, yo. He's ridiculously talented, man. And our Houston team is balling, man. You know what I mean? So you're right. I don't think it's gonna happen, but you're right. If they don't be careful, you know what I'm saying? The Lakers and Golden State. Golden State look like they're on the verge of maybe having to do a rebuild. They just it's something missing. Um, it just feels like the Draymond Green at the 5 position is just not working. He needs to go back to the 4. They need to have a true center on the team, but they just refuse to play that way. You
Well,
know,
no,
they
they have a true center now because that Trace Jackson Davis, he's been balling and he's a legit center. Like I remember him, if I'm not mistaken, he was at UCLA
no, yes,
last year,
yes, he's a
and
beast,
he's
but he doesn't
balling.
start. But he doesn't start. You know what I mean? And it's like
But he gets the majority. Meaning he's bumped Looney out the rotation. So even though he doesn't start, he still plays 20 plus minutes again. Like I had to pick him up this week on my fantasy team. Like I only picked him up for blocks.
right,
But I noticed the last couple of weeks he's been, getting around a double double. He's getting 20 to 25 minutes a game, and literally has pushed Looney. Like Looney get DNPs now. because it's just him and Draymond.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, what it is with Golden, my fault. What it is with Golden State is this. Yo, it's wear and tear, it's attrition.
Yeah.
You've been running how many years going deep into the playoffs?
Right.
They done played extra season or two. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? In
Yes.
contrast to everybody else.
Real
So,
talk. That's some
you know
real
what I'm
shit.
saying? You know what I mean? So that's the thing with these brothers, like, yo, you know what I mean? They a dynasty, but in that dynastic shit, it takes a toll. You know what I'm saying? It takes a toll. So, you know, I don't know about the Lakers. I just don't think they've been a cohesive unit the whole season. Um,
Injuries of also the injury
and
bug. And
injuries, but it's just the mentality of the players, like D'Angelo Russell, and you know what I mean, where he
yeah.
talks. You know what I mean, it's just like Anthony Davis has never been to me, he's never been consistent like that. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Correct.
So it's just I don't that's them. But as far as the Warriors, I mean, you could throw whoever in there. You know, they made the adjustment with bringing Clay off the bench would help a little bit. But I
Right.
just think it's the wear and tear, man. You know what I mean? It's the wear and tear.
I agree. That which is hence why I said I believe that it's looking like it's about to be time for that rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Or restart. Like, the focal point will always be that's Curry's town, that's his city, that's his I mean, he runs all of that. So, he will be a consistent there until he retires, in my opinion. But will Clay move on? What do they do with Draymond? Is it time for him to something different? Or
yo, Draymond on this podcast today, bigging up the Knicks hard. Pause. Like he's trying to come over here or something. Like, oh yeah, the way they play. Oh my God, you got to play. I was like, because even people that's like, I can't stand him, but he's keeping it real. Like the way he's talking, sound like he may try to come over here and play a season with this
That
team
was the
before he
other thing.
leaves.
That was after the game when they
yeah, he has
lost.
an excellent podcast, by the way.
Yeah, but
By the way.
he made, like you said, he made valid points, but he's speaking the truth, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. He
He's a truth
doesn't.
teller. That's why I like
Yeah,
him.
regardless of who or what, you know what I'm saying? He gonna give his perspective, and like he said, you can't stop Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? He's a 3-tier scorer. I mean, he spoke to how he prefers to play defense on him. I mean, man to man instead of playing off the pick and roll. But
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think he want to come over here. I think one of them dudes that want to end his career where he started. You know what I'm saying? Which is rare for most people to end where they start. But I just think that he has to give credit where credit is due with the style of basketball the Knicks are playing, right? And like we gotta think when we was healthy, we beat Denver, smacked them,
Right.
right? We beat a lot of teams. We beat Philly when he was healthy, right?
Right.
Smacked them. So we the Knicks have finally got to a place where they've gotten the acknowledgement, right? People were still fronting for a minute, like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And they still fronting, right? Jalen Brunson can't lead the Knicks to a championship. Small man can't do that, with the exception. But everybody be stuck on the rule and not trying to figure out if the exception is really viable, right? I think he can lead us to a championship if we healthy, right? Everybody think, oh, we need one more piece. We probably do to beat Denver. You know what I'm saying? Boston is a formidable team. They ugly. Um, but going 10 deep, motherfuckers is on. He could beat them. 10 deep. The shots is going in. We could beat them. We got, okay, it's just like, the question is this. OG got OG got Tatum. Who got Brown?
Josh Hart.
He bullies Josh Hart.
Yeah, I almost laughed at that, but I want to be
So then that means we got to switch and put Josh Hart on Tatum and hope that he can get physical and frustrate Tatum, and then put OG on Brown.
Okay. Hart ain't starting. So who's on Tatum?
And that's something that, I had thoughts on the other day. And I'll bring that up before we wrap this up because the game's about to come on soon. But
Right.
one of the things that I felt that coming back, and honestly, just because of the chemistry and how we've been playing, and and as far as because something you mentioned earlier, Trey, as far as him, we're not going to go too far because he got to figure out who can play together. We already know 3 people that can play together, the Villanova boys, as they call them. So those 3 guys, as far as I'm concerned, need to stay together as much as they need to be on the court, because it's something that I heard a young brother say in one of the spaces last night, and I know it's true growing up playing ball. You know it's true growing up playing ball, and even you know it's true growing up playing football, Trey. When you got people that you've played with together for years, like to say, okay, it's 3 of us, 4 of us, and every park we go to, like you just know your people. You can pick up other dudes and like, all right, let me see what you could do. Okay, let's see how you fit in. But when you got people that y'all 2, 3 been playing together as a core, and especially as what I'd like to call a backcourt, because even though Josh Hart does play a forward, it's still like a 3-2, three backcourt players and 2 front court players. If you kind of want to go at it based on their size and ball handling abilities. So to say that OG and even Julius Randle, if needed be, come off the bench and ease them in. Don't just push them in the starting unit and be like, we need 36 minutes a game. Let's see how they feel. Because then if any of them get hurt again based off of that, the narrative is going to be, Tibbs. No, it's because everybody wants instant success in New York. So I have no problems easing them in off the bench and keeping this starting unit, because the starting unit has been getting it done. And they've been building momentum towards a playoff run, whether we keep Deuce in the starting unit or not. And that's the bottom line. To say now we getting other people, it's what it's going to become? It's going to become a stand back and let's watch what they can do. And we don't need that right now. And that's why I'm glad Mitch was willing to come off the bench and understand. So to say we had a bench of Mitch, OG, Randall, either Bogey Burks, and either Deuce or Bogey and Burks in that backcourt as a 1 of the 2, like somehow even bringing Shake Milton, however we want to do it, I ain't mad at that defense backcourt either, because our starters are still solid. We still got 3 to 4 quality defenders, with Brunson really being the weakest defender, and now our second unit is damn near a starting unit. But, that's just me and this, good THC that I be on. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say.
Yeah, I hear you, man. So I guess, well, like you said, the game's about to start. Quickly, y'all want to give some prediction of the game? You want to give what you want to happen, what you think gonna happen, or just a prediction, just straight prediction?
I got a question first. Did they say who's starting tonight?
I
In
haven't
terms,
turned on the TV yet. I've been in my little studio area recording this. So
yeah, I've been watching more Madness. I didn't get. I usually get it from A.A.V.E. He usually delivers the lineup. I didn't check. Because we're doing this. This is first time I didn't check before the game started, honestly. So I'm not
you
sure.
know what? I'm online right now. So while y'all wrapping it up, while Trey's giving his take real quick on today's game, I can check the starting lineup.
All right.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna say Knicks gonna lose. Say that.
Right. You can't.
I'm never gonna say that.
You're never gonna say that, right?
I'm never gonna say it. So, it's the Knicks, right? Yeah, like I said, I'm just curious who's starting and how we match up.
All right,
Okay.
now Deuce is starting again. This is the lineup I like, baby. Brunson, Deuce, DiVincenzo, Hart, and Hardelstein. Let's go. And that's the lineup I feel that needs to start the rest of the season, because Deuce brings an extra defender, but he's not just like your average backcourt defender who can't really score. You
Right.
gotta respect that jump shot and the fact that he will take it to the rack and try to bang it on you. Pause.
What is this? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Come on.
No doubt, no
Which
doubt.
was hilarious though. You seen what happened with them and
Yeah, with Gil.
with Gilbert Arenas?
Yeah,
No,
that.
I've been kind of a little tapped out. I've been really tapped into Nick's
Nah, you
Twitter.
gotta check that one out.
Yeah, but what Gilbert Arenas said was not a pause. It was a
Yeah, that was a.
it was an NH.
It was just no, never again, my dude. What? It was a what?
Yeah, son. That shit was pandemonium.
Yeah. So you will catch up, but yeah, man. I'll say Knicks in a close game at the end. We pull it out.
I'll say
That's what my heart says. My mind says we gonna fucking lose, but my heart says we win in a close game.
I'll say we same thing, it's going to be another good game. Same thing with Sacramento. I couldn't call it until the end, even though I knew we would win. I just couldn't call how much. I said between 3 and 5, but same thing. Good game, close game. Nick's going to find a way to grind it out. It's not going to be pretty though.
No doubt. All
All
right.
right. Trey and tell us who we thought. Oh yeah, you did. Bang. So this Highway Max. Woo! 31% THC, baby. Anyway, not just Knicks, episode 5. We got Big Ha, aka Forever Shining.
Salute.
We got Trey, aka the Third, aka Word to the Third, aka Trey, no social media Trey. Same thing.
I'm antisocial. Antisocial.
Anti-social media Trey.
That's what it is. That's what the fuck it is.
All right, fellas. Thank you
Uh,
for another great episode. We are going to be back next week. Not the same time, but definitely the same place. And everybody that checked in, thank you guys for tapping in. Make sure you log on to the YouTube page. This will be up in a couple days. Let's go, Knicks.
Nick, let's go. Get this done. Peace.
No. I'm supposed to be at the end of it. Let's go, Knicks.